Well, I think we are in a position to start. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time zone you are zooming in from for today's DevDotNext digital edition. Um, Let me just do quick introductions. My name is Sharat Chander. I'm part of Oracle, came in via the Sun acquisition, been part of the Java team for many, many years. I see many familiar names in the participant list, some new ones. I'm looking forward to making a connection. Let me just start off by saying we live in unusual times right now. That is understandable, but I want to give credit to Venkat Subramaniam, who adjusted his DevDotNext event by changing the dates for the physical event, but still wanted to deliver a taste and flavor of his event in a digital format. And I'm more than honored that he's allowing us to host this for him. And so as we do this, we're probably going to learn a lot of good lessons from how to host an event like this in a digital format. So just some housekeeping. We have several sessions today that will run throughout the day. What we will do is have sessions that will run for 60 minutes. Each presenter will have 50 minutes to present, and then we will take Q&A for the last 10 minutes. So we will take the questions via the chat. So at the conclusion of the session, if you could then post your questions at the conclusion, so it'll give the chance for the presenter to scan through them and flag which ones they're able to address and then give their response. At the conclusion of every session, we'll have about a 15-minute break so the next presenter can get set up. And then we'll follow that same procedure for each presenter today. For now, you don't need to log out. We have enough capacity for 500 participants. If we see the participation reaching towards that number, we may ask folks to disconnect and reconnect such that we have a bit of pause to give the speakers a chance to have a stable connection. I'm running this on my home connection, so connectivity is always going to be somewhat of the wild card. So hopefully everything stays stable. If things for some reason disconnects, try to please relog in, as will myself. And then lastly, we're going to record every session. So at some point downstream, I'm going to work with Venkat to get those hosted and posted in a place so you can go and access that, rewatch things, re-listen to things, and re-immerse yourself in some of the material. So enough table setting on my part. This is Venkat's conference. We're so thankful that he's done this. And please, Venkat, I want to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Sharat. Really appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. It's such a great pleasure to have so many of you join. Thank you so much for your time. I want to quite quickly say that it's a mixed feeling to be here today because at this very moment we were supposed to have the DevDotNext in-person conference. Well, clearly, we all know that did not happen for very many different reasons. But I want to quickly tell you how we got here today. I had actually requested Sharat to call me to talk about something completely independent, but related to the conference. And that was the exact day that I was going through a lot of trouble back and forth, thinking whether I should cancel the conference or continue to have it. This was several weeks ago when we did not have as many cases here in the US. And I had just come out of a client meeting. Sharat called me on the phone and I said to him, could we talk about something completely different from what you called me for? And he said, well, okay, so I called you to talk about how you want to run the conference, but you want to talk about something else, go for it. And I mentioned to him, he was one of the first to know that I had canceled the conference. I was going to cancel it a few hours after that. And as soon as I mentioned it, he immediately said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I really wanted to run something for the community. I'm really disappointed I couldn't do this. And he said, it doesn't have to be that way. How can I help? And I want to say that word, how can I help, changed everything. And I can't be thankful enough to his words. And then we, in the next few minutes, talked about, what we want to do. And he said, how would you like to run a digital event? I said, I'll be more than happy to, but I don't have the resources. And he said, let me call you in 30 minutes. And then he calls me back in 30 minutes and says, okay, I've gotten everything ironed out. We are a go for this. And then, of course, the second set of people I want to absolutely thank is the wonderful speakers. We got amazing speakers who are already part of the conference, the in-person conference, but volunteered to speak at the digital events. So many speakers offered to speak. We couldn't really host everybody who wanted to speak, but we got a few selected that are speaking today. I'm very thankful for each one of them. We got a lot of interesting talks, and several of you have joined. I thank each and every one for you to take your time and join this. Make the best out of the day that you have in front of you. There are questions, you can post them on the chat. We'll keep an eye on it. If you will, as Sharat already mentioned, write down your questions locally on your side and then post them towards the end. We have 10 minutes window at the end of the talk. I'll also keep an eye on it and along the way. And then at the end of the 50 minutes, we'll give opportunity for the speakers to answer those questions as well. We got a lot of topics ahead of us, and I'm absolutely thrilled at the topics we have on our hands. Well, at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time, we have Stuart Marks, who is a wonderful person. I've known him for years. I've always enjoyed his talk, so I'm really delighted we are starting with his talk on something that I am actually keenly interested in myself. For a very long time, we've been complaining about how Java is verbose, and Java is changing at a stellar pace right now. It's an amazing time for Java. And one of the things that I really enjoy with the modern Java is how less verbose it is and more expressive it is with every single release. And we're going to learn from Stuart what some of those are. And he's going to share with us things happening and things about to happen in Project Amber as well. I'm definitely excited for it. Then comes along Michael, who is going to talk about the continuous monitoring with the JDK flight recorder. I've enjoyed using flight recorder in the past. I'm very keenly interested in knowing a lot more about it than I had managed to learn on my own. So I couldn't find anybody better to really teach us about flight recorders. I'm thankful for him to be here. We also have Gregors join us talking about the fantastic frameworks and then how to avoid them. I just love that topic. I'm a person who is keenly interested in frameworks, but absolutely in fear of bringing too many of them. I want to learn what he has to teach us. And of course, Josh Long is going to talk about the reactive revolution after that. If you are interested in Spring, if you're interested in reactive programming, topics that I'm sure we all are excited about, we can't find anybody better to help us learn about those things as Josh. And Bruno is going to help us to talk about a wonderful topic related to his title of the talk is called "Let's Build an Anomaly Detector System with few lines of code and without code at all." He has promised some really nice demos for us to look at, so I'm absolutely thrilled to listen to his talk. And then last but not the least, certainly, is somebody that I've admired for quite a while and looking forward to learn from is Lisa. And Lisa Crispin is a very well-known person in the Agile and testing space, and she's got a lot of wisdom to share with us. And she's going to talk about a whole team approach to quality in continuous delivery. Definitely a very highly relevant topic. So I'm really thrilled that a lot of you have joined. As your schedule permits, continue to stay tuned for different talks that is of interest to you, and make the most out of it. We will record, as Sharat mentioned, these sessions, and we will post them along the way. So I'm going to hand it back to Sharat. That's all I have at the moment. Thank you so much, Sharat, again, and Oracle as well.
Venkat, the thanks go to you for organizing and pulling this all together. Learning is continuous. My father used to say, as a child, that I know less than I know, and I never understood what that meant. And it took me a long time to realize that every day is a learning opportunity, and you're giving everyone a chance to learn in these unusual times. So thank you. One question that we've already got is if individuals want to socialize this on Twitter, is there an official event hashtag, Venkat?
Yes, I just created Dev. I'll post it on the panel here. So DevDotNext. digital. So there you go.
That's the official hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, I'm just going to pause the recording shortly and then set it up such that our first speaker, Stuart Marks, is in a position to deliver. So just bear with us for just a couple of minutes. Stuart, looks like we've gone through the introductions in a very prompt fashion. So let me know when you're ready and I'll start the recording for you.